Hi, welcome to another episode of The Story So Far. Today we have a really cool episode. Today we're going to be talking about some of the market trends and predictions for this year that has already started, 2020. Wow, that's a mouthful. But we're going to have a look about some of the possible scenarios and what you can do to protect yourself and make sure that you're not going to be caught off guard, if you like, or with your pants down, so to speak, when some of these things may or may not occur. Now, I was having a look at the Tim Lawless. It's one of the, it's the head of CoreLogic, which is it's a worldwide company, but here in Australia they collect a lot of real estate and economic data, and they report quite often on that. Tim happens to be a personal friend of mine, and I always read what he puts out because he's very detailed in his work. And I work under him for years, and I know how much does he care about the integrity of data and the data he collects and reports on. And in his report, or his last conversation that he had yesterday in the media, he talked about some of the possible scenarios that may happen in 2020. So I'm going to go through those with you. And there's some in the information there we had that himself and a lot of the economists are predicting more rate cuts. So as you know, it's already at 0.75%. So we are really close to negative interest rates. If you ask me, we already are there. So remember when we talked about in a few episodes back, if you look at inflation that is being missed or underreported, let's say it's around 5%, if you'd like to believe this or not, I would recommend that you do some research. Today I've got letters from the gas company and the electricity company that they're going to put the prices up, and that's about 20%. So those are not luxury items, those are items that we need to live. My wife today pumped some fuel, $1.82 a liter of petrol, so go figure, Anyway, back to the point. If you have your cash rate at 0.75% and inflation is at 5%, that means that we are already losing. If you have money in the bank, you are losing. Okay? Where do you go with your money? We'll come back to that in a second. But look, seriously, if you cannot do this math for yourself and for your hard-earned coin, I think you're in denial. Okay? Now, they also talked about quantitative easing. This is a fancy word for printing money, okay? Federal banks around the world have already been printing money. The US has printed $22 trillion, okay, since the global financial crisis in 2009 until this point, okay? Now, if you look at the reasons why Australia is cutting rates, and now to throw it on top, all the aftermath of the bushfires and the recovery that's going to happen, the little surplus that the Australian economy had last year is going to get absorbed and possibly not going to be enough to get all those billion-dollar losses back to Spain, if I can say that. Okay. Now they're predicting the first home buyer scheme. I think it went into effect this week. So we're going to be seeing a lot of first home buyers going into the market. I think they have a cap of 10,000 deposits guaranteed by the government. So those first home buyers who want to get in the market, the government is going to guarantee those deposits on their behalf so they can go into fulfilling their dream, as in owning a home. Okay, so keep an eye on that one, because regardless of you are happy with the grant or not, and whatever you think, it's going to continue to keep the market steady, if you like, okay? And there's been a lot of global issues. I mentioned before, you know, the United States continues to go into debt. There's missiles being fired with Iran, and there's global tensions and so on. So a lot of these global issues can really impact the economy locally. In the year 2008, 2009, it was the global financial crisis in the US with the housing market, and we felt it here. I lost my job, and a lot of people lost their jobs. If you were working in the real estate industry, as I was back in the day, you know what I'm talking about. And look, there's a few other industries that really got hit by that, okay? Now, going back to this first point, if you can't have money in the bank, where do you have your money? Where do you save money, okay? One thing, look, and this isn't financial advice. Remember, go and talk to your financial planner, go read and educate yourself. All I am doing is sharing some of the things that I do and that I've learned over the time, and I'm just sharing them with you, okay? And as I said, this is also a bit of the reason I record this video is a bit of legacy for my family and my friends, so they can have, I guess, somewhere to go to fulfill their curiosity when it comes to if they decide to go down the path of investing or saving and so on. Over the last 2, maybe 3 years now, I've been consistently buying gold and silver, bullion, okay? One of the reasons I've been doing that is if I have money in the bank and it's going backwards, where else do I put my little surplus? Okay, I am very invested in real estate. I've got my superannuation plan. I've got a few shares here and there. So I'm having what the experts call them hedging. Okay, I'm protecting my purchasing power from all these federal bank trickery, for lack of better words, that are doing. Okay, now you will ask gold and silver, why is it a hedge? It's very simple. Okay, there's an analogy that goes out there in the silver and gold world, which is very true. Is back in the day, an ounce of gold, let's say 4,000 years ago in Rome, would buy you a robe, sandals, and a belt, right? And that's what a businessman or the wealthy man will do. 1 ounce of gold. Now, in today's dollars, 1 ounce of gold is equivalent to 2,200 bucks Australian, 1,500 US. Okay, now think about that for a second. If I go to Davy Jones or wherever you like to shop for your suits, and I have 2,200 bucks, I will buy a nice suit, good pair of shoes, good belt, and a good piece of shirt. So as you can see, gold over the human history, or at least the economic part of the human history, has preserved the purchasing power, the value. If you think about the fact that gold has done that in currency continues to depreciate yourself, I think you start to get an understanding of that. But don't stop there, okay? Don't take my word for it. Educate yourself. Remember, this isn't financial advice. All I am saying is that this is what I'm doing, and I seriously recommend that you do it. You gotta have something outside the system, because otherwise the system is out to get you. Okay, and that may sound a little bit paranoid, but I'm not. You know, rate cards, quantitative easing, you know, cash bands. You've been listening. If you've been paying attention, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so that's part of that. Okay, I really like the YouTube channel from Mike Maloney. He has a gold and silver guide to investing in gold and silver. I would seriously recommend you pick that one up, or any of the other books that are out there. I have no affiliation to him. He just has got an amazing channel with a lot of illustrative animations on why gold is important and where has been in history and what does it mean in the future and what will represent and how will it help us maintain our purchasing power. Okay, very important right here. Okay, now some other people, I can almost hear some people saying, oh, what about cryptocurrencies? Good luck with that. I bought a couple here and there. I don't like them. I am a more tangible person. I like things that I can feel. So bullion, I just buy. You can stash it under your mattress. Don't tell anyone. And you can store it in the city. You can store it outside the banking system. Your local bullion shop, and there's one in every city in Australia, will help you with that. Okay, so if you don't trust having a couple bars of silver under your bed or whatever, right? It's not a big deal. Okay. Now cryptocurrencies. Back to cryptocurrencies. Yeah, a lot of people think that we, the older guys, don't understand the cryptocurrency. But there's already about 5,000 of them, and they all do similar things. So where's the value in that? I don't know. But I'm open to opinions. Okay, I'm open to all that sort of stuff. Mind you, I do have some cryptocurrencies, but I'm not betting for them to be my ultimate hedge. Okay, the reason I bought them is just so I keep my brain engaged in what's happening in that space, and I continue to learn about them. Okay, look, nothing will stop a central bank to produce their own Aussie cryptocurrency, and then all of a sudden all this currency will be worth nothing. Okay, they can be worth a lot, and they can be worth nothing. That's a big gamble to me. Okay, now also, if you're lucky enough to be able to save a little bit of money on the side, look, I would seriously recommend having a bit of cash stashed under the mattress too, or in that shoe box or whatever, right? The reason I'm saying this is you can take opportunities of crashing the market. You can also buy some shares if the stock market crashes 80%, whatever, right? Or imagine this, if you were in places like Puerto Rico during the Hurricane Maria or something, and all the cash machines were down, all the ATMs, so meaning you couldn't get any money, guess what? If you had about a couple grand stored under your mattress, you could have sailed past the crisis, go buy some groceries and food and that sort of stuff, okay? Education, keep reading. Listen to the podcast, jump on YouTube. Don't trust me, don't trust any of the shit that I'm sharing with you. Be curious about your stuff. Learn it yourself, own it, okay? Google gold and silver, Mike Maloney. Boom, see what's out there. For example, right? You once you type gold and silver, you'll see there's a world out there that people that actually have been profiting and preserving their purchasing power by having a little bit of gold and silver bullion on the side, okay? Don't be tempted to leave it in the bank or any of that stuff. If you don't own it, if you don't have it physically here, you don't own it, okay? Forget about those ETFs or those pooled shares or that sort of stuff. I don't believe them, and I think you should be cautious about them too. And after all, you can always do nothing. Yeah, you can just sit down and just let your financial boat just float away with the current and see where it leads. You can do that, and yeah, sure, good for you. But mind you, then don't complain or don't go putting your hand up and saying, oh, government, you should solve my problem, this and that, because they can't. And you saw it in the bushfire you saw it during the bushfires. We have no leadership, we have no accountability. I almost felt like we are out there on our own. Okay. Same happened with in the U.S. when the hurricane flooded the southern part of the states. The New Orleans and all that sort of stuff. There was a lot of people that felt very vulnerable and lonely back in the day. I remember seeing it. Forget about Obama or any of that crap. They were all leaving the people out on their own. Okay. So. Okay, just a quick recap. Make sure that you don't take my word for it. Research it, own it. Put some gold and silver on the side. Stash it. Go to your local bullion. Open your account. You can open it online. Buy. Next time you're in the city, go and pick it up. Stash it here. Stash it there. And if you're lucky enough to accumulate heaps, get a safe deposit box. One for your home. And Brinks, the security company, can have. You can hire one in the city. They have the big guys with the guns protecting us. You'll be sweet. I'm sure you get what I'm saying, okay? Remember, more rate cuts, quantitative easing, fancy word for, they're going to get the printing machine out. The more money they print, the less your money it's worth. Okay? Be careful. All right? Have a great 2020. I'll be continuing to post some of my rants. Stay safe, stay positive, stay optimistic, and take some massive action. Remember, doing nothing is not the solution. Ciao.